number of other ones.
Welcome to our instrumental concert. You've been able, and I know you're going to be coming again this week. You're just so excited. That's great. Well, we're going to see all kinds of instruments going on tonight and the students' talent with things. We're going to start this evening with our strings and then follow up with our band. I think you all know Mr. Kalasz, our instrumental teacher. Thank you very much. And I'm sure you're going to love the program. Again, we've been announcing at every concert, there are a couple of different things that we've been working, and you'll see that we've been working on assembly expectation for our students, and they probably are not going to wave to you because they're performers and they're learning what it's like to be performers, and then the others have been learning very much what it's like to be in the audience and to have appropriate, responses to everyone. So thank you for helping them with that. So you can take a quick picture and then we'll get going with that going on.
Okay, very good. Well, we'll begin our Lindbergh School Instrumental Spring Concert this evening. First, I want to begin with an apology concerning our dates and so on. When we have huge responsibilities these days, and scheduling can be so complex that arranging things sometimes get a little mixed up. So we appreciate your patience, and we're really happy to see you here tonight, as opposed to tomorrow night when nobody's going to be here. So we appreciate that. First of all, I'm Mike Kalasz. I am an alumni of Lindbergh Elementary School way back when. I was quite active here at the school, and I was a member of PAC 1116, and I still see that they're out here. I remember the days of the Pinewood Derby and all that good stuff. So it's really an honor to be teaching here and teaching your sons and daughters. Well, we're going to begin our concert this evening with our string orchestra, and we're going to begin with one of our warm-ups. It's incredibly important to warm up correctly each day before you begin, getting the mind and body connected and getting all our body parts moving together, which is always a good thing. So here we go. We're going to start with the D pepperoni pizza scale. As you parents of string players know, there are 4 strings, so you need to warm up all 4 strings. So we'll begin, or we'll continue with our G pepperoni. Well, our next selection involves the name Mozart, one of our famous composers of the classic period. Although this song wasn't written by Mozart, it's actually a French lullaby. His father, does anyone remember his father's name? Oh, yeah, a little historical background.
Leopold?
Leopold, yes. Leopold gave his son, Wolfgang, this piece of music to write variations, as many as they could possibly write, at the age of 6. And I don't know what you're doing at the age of 6. I think I was still on my tricycle. But I certainly wasn't composing music of this magnitude. Well, this is, in the time of Mozart, of course, the piano or the keyboard was not invented yet. We had another instrument. What was that instrument called? Yes?
Harpsichord.
Harpsichord is correct. Now, how many keys does the harpsichord have? Yes?
44.
Is correct. 44 keys. Now, the modern day piano has how many? Does anyone remember? Oh, yes.
88.
88 keys. So you can see it's doubled in size since the time of Mozart. So we'll try to keep in the tradition of Mozart and play a harpsichord sound. customary to clap until the performers have bowed. So let's try that again. Performers? Yeah, Wesley not so much, but the clapping really. Say that for a hockey game. Well, as you can see, we use a lot of different technique. We use a lot of different vocabulary that the students have learned this year. And one of the types of bowing that uses a long bow, and we know what that is. A lot of our terminology for strings is in Italian because even though the violin was created in the Middle East, the Italians took that instrument and evolved it into what we know now as the modern day violin. So a lot of our terminology is Italian. So with that as a hint, I guess, what is the name for long bow? Yes?
Legato.
Legato. Wasn't that nice? Pretty good. Good. So we do legato. What's the opposite of legato? Do you remember? Ben.
Staccato.
Ooh, so right. Yes, staccato is for short. Now, we'd like to play this next selection for you, and we're going to dedicate it to all of you that had a birthday this year. Well, this year's group has been working very hard and very diligently this year, so we got a chance to do a few selections that we don't normally have the time to prepare. But one of those is the can-can. So we'll begin our next piece with the can-can. And as I always ask my students, and they appreciate my humor every once in a while, we said, can you can-can? Has anyone tried the can-can? It's a dance, you know. Okay. I know. The funky chicken? Sure. That's an easy one. Our next selection, Allegro, was written by a very famous educator. His name is Suzuki. We usually affiliate that with motorcycles and other apparatus, but this was a man of high distinction. He came from Japan. He is educated over 1 million students. And so we're going to dedicate this song to him. It's called Allegro. While our string players are getting ready for our finale, right now we'd like to conclude the violin portion of our concert this evening with our finale. As our string players make their way that way down the stairs, we're going to have our band to make their way up this way. Careful with your steps. Okay, while our band is getting settled up here, we're going to put their instruments in resting position, then we'll know they're ready to go by first playing the 5-note warm-up. Also, one of our things, just like the strings, the band also needs to warm up and prepare themselves for a good performance. So we have put together this warm-up called the 5-note warm-up. Well, I want to just take a moment to also, I can't do this alone. I have a lot of assistance, team assistance from our Lindbergh School staff, and that's who I want to thank right now. I'd like to thank Mrs. Bush. I know she's back there. I'd like to thank Mrs. Gardner. I also would like to thank Ms. Rockwell, who helped out while Mrs. Bush was recovering earlier this year. I want to thank those people because without them, this can be very difficult. So let's give them a big round. And of course, these students just don't play these notes in a very, very organized way without prior knowledge or prior musical training. And I would like to thank Mrs. Beloga back there, who has helped out immensely. Well, on with the show. We're going to continue with Old MacDonald. And by the way, how many played Old MacDonald when you were growing up? He was old then, wasn't he? Well, I just want to let you know I got an update on it. He emails me from time to time, and he now lives in a condo with his wife, Martha. And he loves to invite 5th grade bands over for a barbecue every once in a while. So, you know, if you get an invitation, let me know. Well, sometimes when we play in large groups like this, you don't get a chance to hear all the instruments. So we'd like to do Old MacDonald once again, but this time we'd like to feature all our trumpet players. So all trumpets. We have a record number, I believe, and this is 9 trumpet players. For me, this is a record here at Lindbergh School. So let's give these guys a big round. Just like the strings, we've learned a great deal of vocabulary this year, and we know that when we play Frère Jacques is going to be played twice. Why is that? Why is that? Yes?
Because there's a repeat sign.
Of course, there's a repeat sign. And we're going to play this song just like the French would do it. Blank, not blank.
Fluffy, not stuffy.
Fluffy, not stuffy. No, there'll be no biggie burgers up here tonight. Yankee Doodle is a what style of music? I would call on my friend Jake over here, on the other side of the stage. Yeah? What is it, Jake?
Patriotic.
Is right. Patriotic music. Let's hear it for Jake. And we're going to play this song twice. Why? Why? Tell me.
Because it's short.
Yeah, it's short. So we're going to play it twice. Well, we have a small but extremely dedicated upper woodwind section this year, and we'd like to feature our flutes and our clarinets on this song. Well, I know you see a little bit of redundancy in our program this evening with strings playing Happy Birthday, and they did a beautiful job at that. But a little bit about the band portion of their version of Happy Birthday. Did you know that Happy Birthday was voted the #1 requested song of all the 5th graders in the United States? Did you know that? I think I spend too much time online sometimes, if I get this right. But it is true. It is a definite fact. So here we go with our version of Happy Birthday. Well, we can't forget our percussionists back there because they've been doing such a dynamic job this evening. They're going to play their version of Happy Birthday, and they're going to kind of show off their 5-stroke rolls for us. Well, in our next selection, the second ending blues, we got to explore a little bit about the other facets of music. We talked this evening about the classical period, and now we're going to talk about the style of jazz. And we talked about this a little bit in the past months or so, and we've identified certain parts of jazz. I would play and demonstrate the different types of jazz for our students so they got a really good feeling for what that sounded like. So let's name a few. Yes?
Dixieland.
Dixieland. Very good. New Orleans.
Ragtime.
Well, traveling up the river Mississippi to Chicago, learned a little bit about ragtime.
Swing.
Swing, very common in the 40s, very big with big bands and so on. Fun music.
Blues.
The blues. And that was one of our first forms of jazz. And I don't know if you know this, but jazz is purely America's art form. It was created here in our country and developed here. And a lot of countries would hire our American jazz artists, especially France and in Norway and so on. And you know, they would live like kings. They would house them, they would feed them, and they would play every night and every day and just have a great time. What's another kind of jazz here? Reggie?
Eclectic.
Eclectic, yes, very good. Where we combine electric and acoustic jazz.
Jazz rock.
Jazz rock, very common even now.
Fusion.
Jazz fusion, yes, that's very electrifying.
Cool jazz.
Mary says cool jazz. Yep, that's not a radio station, by the way. That really happens. Yes?
Bebop.
Bebop. She loves that. Alexis loves that. Okay. Yes?
New world.
New world or new age jazz. What we currently have now, which is a combination of almost everything. Excuse me. We've got a few left we explored and talked about. Yes?
Jazz funk.
Jazz funk, funky jazz, very, very prominent in these 70s. Yes?
Blues.
Okay, the blues again, yes, yes. Okay, well, we're going to play something bluesy. It's called the Second Ending Blues. Let's feature the saxophones now in Second Ending Blues. Did you notice how they raise their stands? We teach them this. We must teach them this. I mean, this is a fundamental thing. You may think it's, well, trivial, but to stand with your stand, you know, I've seen so many students hit themselves right in the chops, boom, because they didn't put their foot on the foot of the stand. And so this is very important, and to do it well and to do it correctly is important. Well, again, as the strings, the band progressed very well this year, so we got a chance to actually work on an authentic piece of band literature. So we're going to continue our concert this evening with BB's first rock tune. Tis that time of year where we need also these skills that help us play and march at the same time. So, here we go. Should try this at home. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for attending this evening's concert. We thank you for your presences and your sign of positive support. And we appreciate that. Now, you know, I don't know every family has their own customs after concerts and so on. I know the Kalas's, we often went out and got some ice cream. But that's just a hint. But we do appreciate your presence this evening. We'd love for you to continue to support us here at Lindbergh School. You know, it's been a really, really fun year, and I think you've seen on stage by the efforts of your sons and your daughters that it has been a great experience. So, we have to finish our portion of the program. Are you ready? Detail to the ready.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kalasz. Boys and girls, you did an excellent job. And it is very important. They start learning notes all the way from kindergarten on through, which is why they can sound as lovely as they did this evening. So thank you very much for being with us, and we'll see you